You've been lied to about Buddhism. You've seen the quotes, the peaceful statues, the idea that Buddhists must be calm, desireless, and floating somewhere above reality. But here's the truth. Most of what the world believes about Buddhism is a myth. And the worst part, these myths are keeping you from the real wisdom, the real power, and the real transformation that Buddhism offers. In this video, we're going to break down the 10 biggest lies people still believe about Buddhism, and once you see the truth, you'll never unseen it. Buddhism is not about escaping the world, it is about confronting it with clarity. There is a common misconception that Buddhism teaches people to run away from the world, to avoid emotions, and to become detached from reality. But the truth is the exact opposite. Buddhism is a path of engagement, not withdrawal. It does not tell you to deny suffering. It tells you to look at it directly, with an open heart and a clear mind. When chaos surrounds you, Buddhism does not ask you to escape into fantasy or false comfort. Instead, it invites you to be fully present, to feel every feeling, to face every fear, and to walk with awareness through the flames of life. This is the discipline of awareness, courage to face what others avoid. It is not about blind optimism or pretending everything is fine. It is about seeing things as they truly are, even when they are uncomfortable. True practice asks you to stand in the storm of life without losing yourself to it. It trains you to develop inner stability so that your peace is not dependent on external conditions. In this way, Buddhism is not passive, it is active presence. You are not asked to numb yourself, you are trained to master yourself. Pain is not something to be feared or repressed. According to Buddhist teachings, pain is a teacher. Every wound, every disappointment, every moment of anxiety holds a lesson if you are willing to look. Buddhism does not promise that life will stop being painful. It promises that you will learn how to walk through that pain with dignity, with presence, and without collapse. This is strength rooted in awareness. When you stop trying to escape discomfort, you understand its message. The world may offer distractions and escapes, but Buddhism offers clarity. And clarity is not always easy. It forces you to confront your patterns, your stories, and your illusions. But in that confrontation, something beautiful happens. You see your power. The lotus, one of the most powerful symbols in Buddhism, does not grow on marble floors. It grows in the mud. It is the perfect reminder that true beauty comes not from escaping the dirt, but from blooming through it. So the next time you hear someone say that Buddhism is about detachment, remember this: it is not detachment from the world, but detachment from illusion. It is not escape, it is arrival. True Buddhists do not float away from life. They dive into it with clarity as their compass and compassion as their guide. That is strength. You're not more spiritual just because you gave up meat. There is a widespread belief that in order to be a true Buddhist, or even a spiritual person, you must stop eating meat entirely. And while compassion for all living beings is a core principle of Buddhism, the idea that giving up meat automatically makes you more awakened is a dangerous oversimplification. The Buddha himself accepted offerings from villagers, and those offerings often included meat. He did not demand perfection. He encouraged mindfulness. Buddhism is not a diet plan. It is a discipline of self-awareness. Buddhist practice is not about appearances or checklists. It is about intention. If you give up meat out of guilt, pride, or pressure, but still carry anger and judgment in your heart, then the act is empty. True compassion must extend beyond your plate. It must touch your thoughts, your speech, your actions. That means being kind to those who eat differently than you. It means showing patience even when others fall short of your values. You can eat a perfect plant-based meal and still be consumed by arrogance. Compassion begins with awareness, not with rules. The Buddha taught that intention behind an action carries more weight than the action itself. Eating with mindfulness, gratitude, and non-harm is far more valuable than following rigid rules that lead to ego. You are not more holy because of what you refuse to eat. You grow spiritually when your decisions come from a heart that truly understands suffering. Some people may eat meat because of culture, health, or survival, but that does not make them less than you. Spirituality is not about abstaining, it is about understanding. There are monks who eat meat and practice deep compassion, and there are people who follow all dietary restrictions, but judge the world harshly. Buddhism reminds us to look inward. Are you acting from love or ego? Are you cultivating peace or just performing virtue? The outer act means nothing if the inner world is filled with superiority. Giving up meat does not make you more spiritual. Releasing judgment frees you. The goal is a liberated mind. If your diet becomes a tool for compassion, beautiful. But if it feeds pride, you miss the point. Buddhism cares more about why you eat than what you eat. Eat mindfully. Choose. Your plate matters less. Be still. Buddhism is bigger than religion. It's a system for mastering the mind. Many people label Buddhism as just another religion, but this view severely limits its power and purpose. Buddhism is not based on belief in a deity or blind worship. It is a method, a practice, a system for understanding the mind and freeing yourself from suffering. At its core, Buddhism is about training your awareness, transforming your thoughts, and liberating your perception. It is not about asking for blessings. It is about becoming deeply awake to the nature of life, impermanence, and interdependence. Buddhism does not ask you to believe. It invites you to experience. It does not tell you what to think. It teaches you how to see. Unlike many religious systems that are built on faith in the unseen, Buddhism offers a practical, psychological map of human consciousness. It helps you observe your own suffering, understand its root causes, and apply mental discipline to break free. Meditation, mindfulness, and ethical living are not rituals for a god. They are tools for self-mastery. When you view Buddhism as a mental training ground instead of a religious label, its true power becomes clear. You realize that the path is not about conversion, it is about transformation. You are here to train the mind so suffering cannot root itself in you. This is why Buddhism has spread across cultures, philosophies, and even secular spaces, because its insights speak to human nature, not just to a specific belief system. It does not matter whether you call yourself Buddhist or not. What matters is that you wake up, that you begin to observe your mind instead of being ruled by it. Buddhism teaches that suffering is not created by the world. It is created by the mind's resistance to the world. And if that resistance can be softened through insight, presence, and right action, then liberation is possible for anyone. This is not about religion. This is about freedom, a freedom that begins within. The true teachings of the Buddha are not dependent on temples or traditions. They are accessible every time you pause, breathe, and see clearly. If you can observe your thoughts without judgment, act without greed, and live with awareness, then you are already practicing the heart of Buddhism. It is a system to wake up from illusion, to master the mind, and to live clearly, one breath at a time. The Buddha was not a god, and he never wanted to be worshipped. One of the most misunderstood aspects of Buddhism is the role of the Buddha himself. Many people, especially in the West, assume that Buddhists worship him as a deity, but the truth is, Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, never claimed to be a god, a prophet, or a divine being. He was a human being who awakened through discipline, inquiry, and deep meditation. He taught that liberation comes not from praying to higher powers, but from understanding your own mind. His message was not follow me, but follow the path. He discouraged blind faith and encouraged personal verification. In his own words, be a lamp unto yourself. This was not the message of a deity demanding worship, but of a teacher offering tools. He saw the danger in turning spiritual guides into divine idols because it turns seekers into dependents. Worship creates distance, but Buddhism is about direct experience. Bowing to a statue of the Buddha is not an act of worship. It is a gesture of deep respect for the path of awakening he walked. It is not asking for blessings. It is remembering that you too carry the seed of awakening. The Buddha's core teaching was that every person has the potential to become fully awakened. He did not ask for praise, he asked for practice. He did not teach surrender to him, he taught self-responsibility. If anything, he warned against making him into an object of devotion. That is why he rejected elaborate rituals and avoided metaphysical speculation. He focused instead on suffering and its end through your own experience. That is why the Buddha is often called a doctor, not a god. He diagnosed the illness of human suffering and offered a prescription, the Eightfold Path. But he left the healing to you. Buddhism does not need a savior because it believes in your ability to save yourself. And that is far more empowering than worship. True reverence for the Buddha is not in chanting his name. It is in embodying his wisdom. If he were here today, he would likely say, "Do not idolize me. Practice what I taught. Truth does not belong to me. It belongs to anyone willing to seek it with honesty." So next time you see a statue of the Buddha, remember, it is not a symbol of worship. It is a mirror, a reminder that awakening is already within you. Walk the path, light your own lamp, stay mindful, be the practice. It's not desire that destroys you, it's your attachment to it. One of the most misunderstood ideas in Buddhism is the belief that desire itself is evil or that you must live without wanting anything. But the Buddha never said you must destroy all desire. He said you must understand it. Desire is natural. You desire love, purpose, growth, even peace. That is not wrong. What causes suffering is not desire. It is clinging, grasping, and becoming attached to specific outcomes. Attachment turns healthy wants into obsessions. It makes you believe you cannot be whole until you get what you want, and it keeps your peace hostage to circumstances you cannot control. Buddhism teaches that liberation does not come from killing desire. It comes from seeing through it. You begin to ask, is this desire creating suffering, or is it moving me toward awakening? When you are attached, you fear losing what you have or not getting what you crave. That fear creates anxiety, comparison, and emotional pain. But when you desire from a place of clarity, not from fear or emptiness, you are free to pursue without being owned by the outcome. Wanting to grow is not a problem. Believing you are worthless if you fail to grow is. The lotus desires the sun, it reaches for light, but it does not panic when a cloud passes. You too can have desires without drowning in them. Buddhism does not ask you to kill your dreams. It asks you to release your grip, to chase with openness, not obsession, to act without being imprisoned by results. The difference between peace and pain is not the desire itself, it is how tightly you hold it. So pause, breathe, ask yourself, do I control my desires or do they control me? When you stop clinging, you start living. Let go, not because you do not care, but because you do. True freedom is not found in having nothing to want. It is found in wanting nothing so badly that you lose yourself trying to get it. Desire with awareness. Live without chains. Meditation isn't silence. It's a war room for the mind. People often imagine meditation as sitting peacefully with a blank mind in total silence. But that image is misleading. Real meditation is not the absence of thought. It is the training ground where you face your mind as it is. It is not always calm. It is often uncomfortable. Thoughts will race, emotions will rise, distractions will shout. And that is the point. Meditation is not an escape from the mind. It is where you go to understand it, confront it, and ultimately master it. Every time you sit down to meditate, You are stepping onto a mental battlefield, not against the world, but against your own unconscious patterns. The battlefield is full of restlessness, doubt, boredom, and old wounds. But every moment you stay seated, you gain strength. Meditation reveals your mind's habits, the craving, the resistance, the stories you tell yourself. And it gives you the tools to meet them with awareness rather than reaction. You learn to witness without judgment, to observe without grabbing, to be present even when your mind pulls you in 100 directions. That discipline of noticing, staying, returning is how clarity is built. Meditation is not about feeling good. It is about becoming strong. The strength to sit with discomfort. The strength to witness your fears instead of feeding them. The strength to face your truth when it rises. You do not meditate to escape life. You meditate to face it with more power. Every breath is a chance to return to now. Every thought is a mirror showing you where your attention wanders. And your awareness is the muscle you are training every time you bring it back. In Buddhist practice, meditation is not a luxury. It is the foundation. It is where the storm quiets, not because it stops, but because you stop being swept away by it. Do not chase peace through silence. Create peace through strength. Sit in the fire of your own thoughts until they no longer control you. That is meditation. That is where warriors are born. You are not here to suppress your mind. You are here to train it. You are not here to fight your thoughts. You are here to understand them. Sit like a mountain, breathe deeply, and become unshakable. Meditation is not passive. It is the fiercest battle for peace you will ever fight. Keep showing up. The war is within, and so is the victory. Stay. Watch. Being Zen doesn't mean you're always calm. It means you're always aware. Many people misunderstand the word Zen to mean being perfectly calm all the time, as if being spiritual means becoming emotionless or unaffected. But that idea misses the heart of what Zen truly teaches. Real Zen is not about always being calm. It is about always being conscious. It is not the absence of emotion. It is the awareness of emotion. You feel anger, but you do not drown in it. You feel fear, but you do not obey it. Zen is the practice of noticing what arises in you and around you without grabbing it, chasing it, or running from it. It is the discipline of being awake to your experience, even when that experience is uncomfortable, painful, or confusing. You do not have to be calm to be Zen. You do not have to be unshakable to be awake. What matters is that you stay aware. You observe the chaos without becoming chaotic. You allow your mind to race and still choose not to react from it. Being Zen means your peace is not something you find when everything goes right. It is something you build when nothing is going right at all. Zen is not about perfection. It is about presence. You can be Zen while crying. You can be Zen while struggling. You can be Zen while failing. Because Zen is not about appearing strong. It is about being honest with what is. In that honesty, a deeper strength begins to grow. The kind that cannot be taken away by noise, emotion, or uncertainty. Zen does not ask you to escape life. It asks you to face it with your full attention, to return again and again to this breath, this moment, this truth. When the world pulls at your mind, Zen teaches you to come home to your awareness. And it is in that return, in that quiet witnessing, that true freedom is found. Zen is not a mood. It is a state of attention. You do not need to control the storm. You only need to sit within it, with your eyes open, your breath steady, and your awareness unshaken. Karma is not punishment. It's a mirror that never lies. Most people think of karma as a punishment system, a cosmic force that waits to hit you back when you do something wrong. But this idea turns karma into superstition. In truth, karma is far more subtle and powerful. Karma is not a judge. It is a mirror. It does not punish or reward you out of morality. It reflects you back to yourself. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, every action you take creates a ripple, not only in the world, but in your own mind. You become the habits you repeat, and you attract the patterns you create. Karma is not about what happens to you. It is about how your choices shape the person you become. If you sow resentment, you become bitter. If you plant seeds of compassion, peace begins to grow in you. Karma is not revenge from the universe. It is your life echoing your inner state. This means you are not a victim of karma. You are its author. Every moment you get to decide what kind of energy you plant in the soil of your life. If you feel stuck, look at your thoughts. If you keep encountering the same pain, examine your responses. Karma is honest. It never lies. It simply reflects who you are choosing to be. This is why Buddhism teaches mindfulness, not to earn rewards, but to break cycles. When you become aware of your intentions, your actions, and your consequences, you begin to reclaim your power. You stop reacting unconsciously and start responding wisely. You stop blaming fate and start shaping it. Karma is not fate carved in stone. It is your moment-to-moment choice sculpted into your future. You are not being punished, you are being shown. And that showing is your invitation to grow. You don't need to be a monk to awaken, you just need to be awake. There is a common belief that spiritual awakening belongs only to monks, sages, or people who renounce everything and live in silence. But Buddhism teaches the exact opposite. You do not need robes, rituals, or retreats to wake up. You only need awareness. Enlightenment is not locked away in temples or mountaintops. It is hidden in ordinary life, in traffic, in arguments, in dishes and deadlines. You do not need to abandon your world to find clarity. You need to bring clarity into your world. The Buddha did not teach escapism. He taught mindfulness in action. That means you can awaken while raising children, while running a business, while living in a noisy, chaotic world. The real monastery is your mind. The real temple is this present moment. The question is not where you live, but how you live. Are you awake in your thoughts, or are you sleepwalking through your days? Every time you pause, every time you breathe consciously, every time you respond instead of react, you are practicing awakening. You do not need to live like a monk. You need to see like one. See through the illusion that happiness lies in possessions. See through the belief that your peace depends on others. See through the fog of distraction and come home to the simplicity of now. Awakening is not about perfection. It is about presence, not about renunciation, but realization that you already have what you are seeking, the silence beneath the noise, the calm beneath the stress, the awareness beneath the mind's chaos. You are not too late, too busy, or too ordinary to wake up. You just need to stop running and start noticing, because the path is not somewhere else. The path is wherever you are, if you are fully there. So stop waiting for perfect silence or a simpler life. Stop believing awakening is for someone else, somewhere else. It is for you here now. You do not need to look different. You need to look deeper. The most awakened souls are not always the ones who withdraw from the world. They are often the ones who stand fully inside it, grounded, aware, and free. Buddhism is not passive, it's inner power. Disguised as peace to the outside world, Buddhism may look passive. Silent monks, stillness, eyes closed in meditation. It can all seem like withdrawal, but that appearance is deceptive. Buddhism is not soft surrender. It is fierce inner mastery. To stay calm while everything around you spins is not weakness. It is strength refined. In Buddhist practice, peace is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of unshakable awareness in the middle of challenge. It takes more power to walk away from ego than to fight for it. It takes more discipline to sit in silence than to scream for attention. Buddhism is not about being passive. It is about choosing conscious response over blind reaction. It is about seeing clearly and acting wisely, not impulsively. You are not avoiding the world. You are engaging it without letting it own you. True Buddhist power is quiet. It does not demand. It does not boast. It does not dominate. But it transforms everything it touches. The stillness you see in a mindful person is not the stillness of passivity. It is the stillness of deep roots. Roots that cannot be shaken by the storm. Every breath you take in awareness is a declaration. I choose peace, not because I am weak, but because I am strong enough to protect my inner world. Buddhism does not train people to run away. It trains them to meet life with clarity, with presence, and with purpose. The greatest warriors are those who have mastered themselves, the ones who do not need to fight every battle to know their power, the ones who can remain soft and still because they know how hard they have trained. That is not passivity, that is profound control. In the stillness of Buddhist practice lives the quiet fire of unstoppable strength. So the next time someone mistakes your calm for weakness, smile. Let them talk. Let them judge. You know the truth. Your power is not loud, it is focused. Your energy is not scattered, it is sacred. You do not react to everything because you have mastered the art of restraint. You do not need to prove anything because peace has already made you whole. This is the essence of Buddhist strength. Still but never stagnant, silent but never asleep, kind but never powerless. You are not passive, you are prepared. Now you know, Buddhism was never meant to make you comfortable. It was meant to wake you up, strip away the myths, and what you find is not softness, but strength. Not blind devotion, but razor-sharp awareness. This is not a path for those who want to be saved. It is for those who are ready to save themselves. So ask yourself, are you still looking for peace in all the wrong places? Or are you ready to build it from within, breath by breath, moment by moment, no matter what burns around you? Because this path is not about belief, it is about becoming. And if any part of you felt the fire in these words, then that part is already awakening. Let it rise. Like, share, subscribe to Silent Strength. Not because we want followers, but because you deserve to walk with those who see the world clearly. No illusions, no masks, just the raw, unshakable truth. You do not need more time. You need more awareness, and that begins now.